Yeah, now we're unmuted.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, we're going to get started in a moment now that we have, it seems like all the technology smoothed out. Thank you so much for your patience. So welcome to our cultural salon. For those of you joining us on Jitsi right now, we actually have about 20 people in the room. You might not be able to see everyone, but I just wanted you to know we do have a good number of people here. We might also have some more people joining us shortly. Oh, thank you, Jake. So yeah, Jake is moving the camera so that you can see who we have here with us today. My name is Ana-Claire Stefan. I'm a professor at the Clemente course in the humanities at Bard Micro College and Holyoke Community College. I'm also a musician and I'm a former resident of Turners Falls, and we're here from Turners Falls, Massachusetts today. This satellite event is part of the Cultural Salon, an organization which supports exceptional creative individuals inside Palestine and centers their perspectives as artists supporting artists. TCS identifies and nurtures exceptional individuals who often have inadequate access to development, distribution, and recognition for their work. This grassroots organization mentors, networks, strategizes, and facilitates on behalf of each person they mentor. So the cultural brain drain slows down and Palestinian creatives remain on their ancestral land, so their society benefits from their creativity. TCS is a bridge for cultural exchange via the cultural salons they curate, such as this one, providing access to audiences and potential collaborators in the West. This provides opportunities for international artists equally to access their peers inside Palestine for peer-to-peer exchanges that inspire and reaffirm everyone's humanity, sense of agency, and creative spark, which in turn offers encouragement, resilience, and sumud. Sumud, which means steadfastness in Arabic, became an explicitly political term and concept in the 1960s to describe a multitude of forms of Palestinian resistance to Israeli occupation and dispossession. Building and rebuilding, investing in education, traveling for work or pleasure, despite the aggravation of Israeli checkpoints, cultural activities, organizing, economic and organizing and economic investment in Palestine. Sumud includes the eventful and the quotidian practices of existing and living for a Palestinian present and future on Palestinian land. Each host organizes and moderates their own local event, reflecting their own commitment as they donate time and energy, and local audiences like you benefit, which we hope will also reflect a donation, 100% of which will go to feed Palestinians in Aida refugee camp who suffer from food insecurity. We also hope this event and others like it, all curated by the Cultural Salon, will generate excitement for Ahmed Abusoror's upcoming series of films, the first of which is launching here today. We are honored to premiere a new Palestinian short film by director Ahmed Abusoror entitled "Where Are You, Humanity?" The film features sensitive and moving vocals by Yara Al-Asil, singing composition by Mohammed Alek, with the music arranged and produced by Ahmed Ed and Nassem Rimawi at Palestine Music Space. This is Abusoror's first film, and through it he chronicles life in Aida refugee camp in the West Bank amidst the brutality of the Israeli occupation. Filmed by Ahmed himself and with directors of photography Jad Ibrahim, Mad Abusoror, and Ibrahim Atef, this project is a testament to the possibilities of collaborative art making in even the most oppressive and difficult circumstances. By braiding together original and raw footage from both Aida camp and Gaza, this love letter to Palestine speaks to Palestine as an inseparable land, the Palestinian people as unconquerable, and the Palestinian spirit as a model of resilience and courage. Produced by Al Rawad Cultural and Arts Society, and we will be in conversation shortly with Dr. Abusoror from Al Rawad. He's the director of the organization. The film is being shown to shine a light on the Ramadan of Mercy campaign, which aims to raise money to provide hot meals for families in Aida camp as they break their fasts during Ramadan. We have a link for the fundraiser, and actually it's right there next to you. We will have that posted up right there at the bar. If you can talk to myself, Ty, or Rich if you have any trouble with the QR code today. And we were going to have a laptop set up with the donation link, but the internet is being funny. So we will work on getting that set up for you today while we proceed with our programming. Please be sure to use the code TCSMA, which is also on that flyer in the notes section when you make your donation. That way they can track that the donations are coming from our cultural salon in Massachusetts. As our contribution to this cultural exchange, we have with us today Beverly Ketch, local poet, musician of the band Stella Cola, and she's also an early childhood educator. Beverly and Hannah Brookman of Looky Here Greenfield co-produced one of the local films we're showing here today, which is entitled The Love Lights, A Day for Fainting Fairies. We also have with us David Brule, president of the Nolenbeka Project, an organization honoring Northeastern tribal heritage through preservation projects, education, archiving, and community cultural events. I hope I represented that well. Sorry, I'm looking at you, Rich. David, over there. I realize I should be wearing my reading glasses too. I'm kind of... we will also be screening the trailer for what is a 10-part Indigenous Voices series, which is produced by Nolenbeka. We also have with us Jennifer, who was Jennifer Lee, who is the producer of this series. She's on the Jitsi call with us. And with that, we will stop listening to me speak and move on to Beverly Ketch, who's going to talk about making love lights.
Yes, thank you so much for allowing me to share this project that meant the world to me to do, because when I first moved to this town, that was about 15 years ago, I made friends with children in my neighborhood who loved fairies. And I mean, when I first saw my house, in fact, when we were going to buy it, there was a crowd of little kids sitting on the stoop. And some of those kids were the kids that inspired me to create this show. I'll read, since I don't trust myself to just try to improvise, I'll read something I prepared to explain it. But this project came about because of my friendship with kids in my neighborhood who love fairies, and my street, K Street, where all the people love to spend time together, young and old. The show is a celebration of these friends and our ability to organize and protect nature and help each other. My art community created original songs, and my friends inspired the characters. It's about seeing the value in each other. We made the show through cable access TV. So we have access to free cameras here through cable access. And they also have the use of a studio there. It's provided for anyone in town who wants to use it and take a lesson in how to use it. So we set up a green screen and did green screen effects, which was a lot of fun. We were just learning everything as we did it. There were no experts involved. So we had a children's event where we provided costumes, and we had a stop motion animation workshop for them to explore. The whole thing was created by volunteers and grants. We were able to get grants of a total of about $3,000 over the few years that it took to make it, since we were all doing it in our spare time. But we really had fun every step of the way and learned so much. And we always dreamed of doing a second episode, and I think we're going to finally do it because the pandemic and some other things got in the way. But yeah, thank you so much for checking it out.
Thank you, Hannah. Jake, would you help put on the love lights?
I would.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so everyone on the other end, I'm just going to ask you to pull up the link on your computer. I'm not going to play it through the Jitsi.
Make sure that put the link in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought everyone had the link. I will put the link in the chat right here. Okay.
When I wake up, I hear your voice outside my window. You chat on this and that while the children play. And I realize it's Saturday on K Street. And I wouldn't have it any other way. And you may not save the world, but then again you may, in the number of the times you save the day.
Sorry about the Wi-Fi, but it seems like it seems to have helped to watch it at a slightly lower resolution. So that was the trade-off. So next we're going to have David Brule share with us the history of Turner's Falls, the Indigenous history of Turner's Falls, and the Indigenous present of Turner's Falls, and a nod to the Indigenous future of Turner's. And it will also speak a little bit about the Indigenous Voices film series that the Nolan Becca Project produced.
Yes.
Thank you, David.
Great. Thank you. Well, everyone can see me all right. I'd say assalamu alaikum to our new friends in the West Bank. And hello to everyone who is watching us across Turtle Island. We call this continent Turtle Island based on our belief system of how this planet came to be. Some people call it the United States. We accept that. But we are coming to you from a very beautiful spot where 5 rivers converge. And it is an important place for indigenous native people because for the last 22,000 years, native people have been living here. But there was a period of time about 400 years ago where things turned a bit for the worse. At a certain point here, where these 5 rivers came together, it was always had been for 10,000 and more years a place of truce. Tribal people came from all over the northeast to fish at the falls. The falls in the native language was called Peske Omska, meaning the Thunder Rocks place. That name got changed. But prior to that, this was the place. Many, many tribal people came here as this was a place of truce and peace. You may know in American history that the period of colonization started in about 1620, more than 400 years ago. The English arrived and bit by bit moved across this country. In this place of peace and truce, there was a horrific incident during the revolt of the indigenous peoples against the colonization process. Just about a half a mile from where we are now, there was a horrific attack on the elderly, the women and children, and the elders of many tribes. People were killed, on the spot. As I said, about 400 people. That led to a sense of tragedy here, a heavy, dark burden, which caused Native people to not come here anymore. Too much death, too much darkness. The Native people went, what we say, below the radar, stayed out of sight, out of contact, for fear of being taken to prison, having their children taken away. So people retreated and stayed below the horizon. This native place, this indigenous place of much beauty, became an industrial place. All that beautiful water that flowed here created a lot of power, of energy for factories. So that zone of peace that natives had protected for 10, 15,000 years became a very busy place of industry and manufacturing. Then that was about 1850. So this place that we call Peskeomskat, the place of the Thunder Rocks place, became known as Turner's Falls, named for the man who led the attack that killed 400 people. We are struggling to change the name, but it will take time. So that industrial history began around 1850 and lasted about 100 years, short amount of time. And then because of the economic forces at play, many of the factories moved away, moved to the south of Turtle Island, the south of the United States, and beyond. So this area was left with a lot of abandoned buildings. But people moved here, people with an interest in the arts, people interested in redeveloping our community. My organization came about in the desire to renew an indigenous native Indian presence here. And that's what we have been doing for about 25 years. And there has been a renewal. Native people who stayed away because of the bad feeling and the level of the dark burden that was here have been coming back. How do we do that? Well, one of the efforts was to ask for and receive funding from the federal government to study that terrible happening. What really happened there? Because only one side was told. Only the white antiquarian historians wrote the history. You know that. The victors write the version of history. So we got funds to find out what really happened using very skilled archaeologists and local historians. And so there has been a renewal here. We have been meeting with tribal people and non-tribal people now for 12 years, once a month, to study the history, to review the archaeology, to share the sides of the story. Most people never heard of what really happened. Now they know, they're learning. People have a hunger for this information and are coming to events. On the site across the river from where that atrocity happens, we have a music festival now in its 12th year. Native groups, tribal people, Native nations come to present their music, to share their stories, to share their art. And it has been an incredibly important renewal for everyone, both the tribal people and the non-tribal people who live here now. So I feel, we all feel that there has been progress and hope. The Native people say they have been persistent. The phrase that we use is, "We are still here," even though there has been an attempt to erase us from the history books. So one of the aspects has been that the government wants the younger people in our public schools to learn about local indigenous, local native, local Indian history. They instructed, ordered the teachers to do that, but there was no resource. There was no information. Where do you find that when it has been erased? So my organization undertook a film to develop a curriculum so that teachers could go online for free and find the information they needed. We have the executive producer of that film here, who will speak to you in 1 minute about that process. So that film, Indigenous Voices of the Connecticut River Valley, is now online, has been for about 2 to 3 years, and teachers all across this state of Massachusetts can, or beyond, can go online and get see this film with a series of interviews by Native people talking about their culture, their tribe, their tribal life, and their art and their music. We're going to show you a trailer in a minute, but I'll stop here and ask for Jennifer Lee to speak a little bit about producing the film.
Thank you, David. Can you hear me? Okay. Let's see, where do I start? I'm a person who has a little bit of Native ancestry. I wasn't raised in the culture. But finding out about that ancestry, it became very important to me to learn really what did happen here. I have ancestors that came on the Mayflower, and I have Narragansett ancestors. So I wanted to really know, like, I knew that everything I learned in school was not correct. So I've spent my adult life traveling, meeting Native people, attending Native events and seminars, and reading everything I could. And when I joined the Nolambika Project, I joined them because they have a great reputation in the area for decades about what they do. They stopped the desecration of a Native burial site and have tended that land. And so the opportunity to make the film was to help the teachers, to give people around here a start. Well, meet some Native folks. These interviews let you meet some Native folks, see what's on their minds. And there's a lot of resources every time there's a little movie and you meet somebody. There's resources that go along with it, like maybe some definitions to words that they used or further resources to look at. And then with a lot of help, wrote a little 18-page booklet on Northeast Native history that I feel like if every teacher could just read that, they would learn 100% more than most of them know now. That most teachers don't realize how many tribes are in this country today. Most people don't. It's just we haven't been taught. So it was really very satisfying project, and I'm hoping that it inspires people and gets used and educates people.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we are going to be able to show the trailer for the Indigenous Voices series that Jennifer produced. Just give us one moment to bring that up for you. And this time we're going to try sharing the screen, and we're going to see if it works to show it by sharing the screen and recording at the same time.
It's important to remember that European people have only been here for 400 years. Native people, Indian people, indigenous people have been here for 10,000 years. In learning about what was life like here before the Europeans came here, try to erase everything. Erase all the roads, all the cars, all the trucks, all the buildings, all the grocery stores, okay? Grocery stores do not exist.
Every time I put in a quill, I feel very proud and very happy. Art is directly connected to all Native people. Doing art is a way to explain origins, where people came from.
My name is Liz Coldwin Santana Kaiser. I'm 71 years old. I am an elder and a councilwoman on the Chibonagagabog Band of Nipmuc Indians, which is my tribe. We are still here, we are still alive, we still exist, and we still carry on our traditions and our culture.
This is my church. That's where everything goes on for me, and out in nature. That's where my spiritual part comes from, my beliefs. That's where I go to become one with everything. I feel that this is what I was supposed to do. I'm giving honor back to nature that I feel that it gave me. Maybe me carving it is keeping that beauty for other people to see what I see. There's an emotion in here, so it's like I'm taking something out of my heart and putting it there for everybody to see. Maybe they won't see what part of me is in it, but I know it's there.
We're out here today, tanning hides and remembering these old ways. For me, it's of the utmost importance to be able to teach whatever knowledge I have to all these young ones that are around me. My nieces, my nephews were here. That makes me really happy that I know that I've given them enough knowledge to be able to keep a tradition alive. It's really important for me to be able to teach these young ones that these skills aren't lost.
try that for the next one.
Oh, hello. Okay, thank you. And again, thank you for your patience with the technology. It came to my attention that for those of you on Jitsi, there wasn't sound when we were playing that. Someone's going to be putting the links to the, we'll put the link for the final film in the, thank you. Okay, so someone's taking care of that. Thanks for your patience. So next we have up Dr. Abusror, who's the director of Al Rawad. And there you are. I see you now. Got all the. And I think we can mute our things so that on our side, so that is that possible?
Okay. I thought they for the screen sharing, but sure.
If we mute, that doesn't affect me.
Okay.
Dr. Abusror, we can't hear you.
Yes, I'm waiting for you to give me a sign.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That was my sign. Thank you so much. We're ready for you.
Okay,
But you're
thank
not
you.
very
Good
loud
evening.
for some reason.
Good afternoon, everybody in the US. Good evening, good night in Palestine. I don't know. So thank you for hosting this. Thank you for your presence with us. My name is Abdel Fattah Abussrour, and this is the short version. And the longer version is Abdel Fattah, Abdel Karim, Hassan, Ibrahim, Muhammad, Ahmad, Mustafa, Ibrahim, Mahmoud, Usrour, Abussrour. The reason I'm saying this is that I'm the first in 11 generations to be born in a refugee camp in my own country. My parents were uprooted from their villages, became refugees, moving in tents, then shelters, and we are still 78 years later in a refugee camp in my own country. Part of my family was dispersed in different parts of the world, including Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, the United States, and beyond. And so I feel with you, David, we share this pain and bitterness of an injustice that is still waiting to be achieved, and so on. I was one of the lucky people to get a scholarship to continue my studies in France, where I got my PhD in biological and medical engineering. My heart was also with theater, painting, photography, so it was a great opportunity 9 years in France to develop my artistic work as well as academic work, returning in Palestine in 1994, thinking that Palestine was only waiting for me to save it. Started working with my biology degree, but also volunteering to train theater. And in 1998, with a group of friends, we founded Al-Rawad, which means the pioneers in Arabic, with a philosophy that I call beautiful resistance, because I believe every act of resistance against injustice, oppression, occupation, dictatorship is a beautiful act of humanity. But also resisting through culture, arts, education are great acts of resistance, because the aim was how to save lives, how to inspire hope, how to give our children and young people possibilities to express themselves in the most beautiful, creative, peaceful ways, and hopefully grow up and change the world and create miracles and be proud of their successes and achievements, and not just count the children as numbers on lists of martyrs or handicapped for the rest of their lives or perish in Israeli prisons. No parents in the world want to live the day where they bury their children. Every parents want to see their children grow up and create miracles and be proud of the heritage we leave for them. And when the time comes, they should be the ones walking in our funerals and not the other way around. Unfortunately, we see a lot of children carried on our shoulders, leaving this world before the elderly. And this is painful when you ask children what their hopes and dreams. You know, my generation, every Palestinian parent wants their children to be doctors, engineers, doctors, engineers, doctors, engineers, nothing else counted. Now, when you ask children their hopes and dreams, of course, there is those who want to be doctors, engineers, lawyers, teachers, pilots, artists, and so on. But also there are children who are even 8 or 10 years old. When you ask that question, they told me, I want to die. And if a child who is 8 or 10 years old tell you, I want to die, that means we have failed almost everything. As parents, as educators, as artists, as leaders, as politicians, to inspire a drop of hope in such darkness of hopelessness and despair. So how to save lives, how to inspire hope. I thought theater is one of the most amazing and powerful ways to express oneself. Shout as loud as you want, and hopefully this would be a way to build peace within yourself, to be peace builder in your community to start with, and hopefully in the world. But of course, not everybody wants to do theater, so that's why we added dance, singing, music, photography, video, filmmaking, working with kindergartens, with the schools, with parents, focusing on mothers and women, because I believe, with all respect for men, it's women who change the world. So it was important to help build possibilities to express oneself and find a way for everybody to find a way to build peace within oneself. And of course, we cannot say we are just a cultural center. So when there is a tragedies, when there is incursions by the Israeli occupation army, when there is COVID, for example, epidemic, or now since the 7th of October 2023, everything is blocked down. There is more than 900 checkpoints and barriers cutting in pieces and fragmenting the West Bank, and freedom of circulation is completely blocked. That means we need to respond to the needs of our community and not say we are just cultural center, but also respond to the needs of the community with respect and dignity. This project with Ahmed and the film and the partnership with the cultural Salon, with Mina coming, proposing this idea of connecting Yara, a singer, and the music that comes with our partners here, and Ahmed to direct the film with our young people who are in the film training program, was an opportunity to unite Gaza and the West Bank, even virtually, and to see that we share the same pain, the same hope, the same destiny, one way or the other. And what is happening in Gaza is happening everywhere in the West Bank and in Jerusalem, maybe on smaller doses, but now the doses are increasing hugely. So it was a way to reach people, because I believe in the power of arts as things that connect people together on equal basis. When you see a film, when you see a theater play, when you look at a painting or a photo or a sculpture, when you listen to music, I don't think anybody will say, I will not like it because it's a French or American or Palestinian or whatever. You like or you don't like based on how much it touches you. So these are the bridges that we can build together to shape this better future for our children and the generations to come. A future where justice, freedom, peace, equality, love mean the same thing for everybody. Whether you are Muslim or Christian or Jewish or Buddhist or Hindu or atheist or whatever we are, these values are the same and not elastic, changing depending on who is the oppressor and who is the oppressed. Nobody is born with genes of hatred or violence, but nobody is born to be enslaved and oppressed and occupied and be happy about it. And he should be grateful to the oppressor for oppressing him or her. We are born free, and we will remain free despite all this oppression and occupation. And as refugees, we still have these old rusty keys for doors that do or do not exist anymore, reclaiming our right to return to our homes and lands. Like the indigenous people in the United States, in Australia, in Canada, and everywhere in the world where there is oppression and uprooting people from their original homes and lands. We keep this fight to reclaim because it is our right. It's not that we are asking for charity or pity. It's because we identify with this land, deeply rooted in this land. And the land, do not forget those who sweat to make it flourish and grow the trees and have this fortunate luck to be born in a land where everybody can have a claim, but nobody has the monopoly to say it's only for us and will throw everybody else to the sea. And that's the beauty of Palestine. It's a land of inclusion and not exclusion. It's a land where people can meet, whether they are Muslim or Christian or Jews, but nobody can say it's only for me. It's this diversity that is unique, kind of, and that we are proud of. And that is a culture that rejects exclusivity and that rejects occupations and oppression, whoever they are. So thank you for organizing this event to shed a light for Ahmed to show his creative work. He has done many, but he will talk about it, many short films. But I guess this was the first opportunity to make a video clip, a film with a musician, and the collaboration with the team that made it a beautiful production that at least virtually united Gaza with the West Bank. A lot of people come to Palestine and say it's hopeless. I say we don't have this luxury of despair. We are committed to continue hoping because this is the heritage we want to leave to our children and the generations to come. And if people are waiting for miracles to happen, I assure you they will not happen alone. We need to provoke them to happen. So that's why, again, we are grateful for those who dream, but also not remain in the stage of dreaming, but act to make a reality of these values that we share as human beings. And thank you deeply for your commitment, for your defense in what is just and what is right, and for identifying with the oppressed, whoever they are, and opposing the oppressor, whoever they are. Thank you for every single one of you, and we hope to welcome you in a free and independent Palestine sometime soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are we still muted?
No.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abusoror. And we are very excited. We have Ahmed and Wajad with us tonight too, who are we're gonna do a Q&A with them after we premiere their film. We're so excited to talk to you. We're so excited to watch your film. And well, I mean, I've seen it and it's beautiful and I'm really happy to share it today. So we're gonna show that and we're good to go.
Yep. I cannot guarantee that the audio of the film will go through Jitsi, but I will share the screen.
For those of you in the US who are on the Jitsi, Ty has shared a link to the film in the chat, just in case the audio does not work for you when we share the screen, as what that seems to be what's been happening. And for the rest of and for those of you in the West Bank, we know you've seen it, so hopefully we'll all be able to enjoy it together right now.
I'm gonna mute us now.
يا حسرة العين والدمع جراحنا المنسي والعالم اللي شاف وسمع حسوا بوجعنا شوي. يا حسرة العين والدمع جراحنا المنسي والعالم اللي شاف وسمع حسوا بوجعنا شوي. لو مرة رجعي يا يما لو صوتك معي يا روح قلبي توجعي يابا انت جوا ضلوعي يا حارتي اللي مدمرة دموع عيني محضرة هز بدماغ معطرة حريتك مشروعي ويلي يا إنساني قوية غزة اطلعي من عز جرحك وارفعي شارة نصر رح ترجعي بزنودنا عمراني أبي يا غزة اسمعي يا علي ما تخضعي إلا لربك ترجعي معنا ولا ينسانا وين العدالة يا رب تغضب لدم اللي انسكب واجب على الأم الغضب تجمعنا هم قوي وين العدالة يا رب تغضب لدم اللي انسكب واجب على الأم الغضب تجمعنا هم قوي لجراح في صدر الطفل وتذكروا احنا اهل عز النصر قولوا فاعل تنحقق الحرية لجراح في صدر الطفل وتذكروا احنا اهل عز النصر قولوا فاعل تنحقق الحرية تنحقق الحرية بزنودنا عمران أبي يا غزة اسمعي يا علي ما تخضعي إلا لربك تركعي معنا ولا ينسانا قوية غزة اطلعي من عز جرحك وارفعي شعار النصر رح ترجعي بزنودنا عمراني أبي يا غزة اسمعي يا علي ما تخضعي إلا لربك تركعي معنا ولا ينسانا
That was so beautiful. I have seen it before, but it was so beautiful to see it on a projector with a speaker and with a room full of people and with you all here. Ahmed and Jad, is Jad with us as well today? Hi.
Hello. Hi. Hello.
It's so wonderful to meet you. I've been really
We're glad to be with you too.
Yes, thank you. We have a few questions for you, and I know they've been translated into Arabic for you. And just to say, we'll also have questions from people here afterwards. And if you need any time to look to translate anything into English, we can be very patient. So I just want to make sure that that's understood.
Thank you.
Okay, Ahmed and Jad. So my first question is, have you ever made a music video before or any other films just for fun?
Yep. This is my first video clip. I have participated in several various projects with the Ruwad Society, including video and short films that allowed me to explore new techniques and experiment with innovative ideas.
Oh, you froze for just a moment. Okay. And what inspired you to make this beautiful film?
Live.
And sorry, what inspired you to make this film, and how did you meet Yara?
Yeah, my inspiration came from a desire to highlight stories from diverse background and native sovereignty and solidarity, of course. I met Yara through Minna at an artistic event in partnership with the Ruwad Society and Culture Salon, where we exchange ideas about art and community, and that's when our creative partnership began.
Hi, Ahmed. Just one moment. The live streaming stopped. Jake, just hold on one moment, okay? Sorry. The live streaming stopped. Mina, just let me know.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I see. That's what that sound was. Okay, I did hear that, and I didn't know what it was. Is it streaming again?
It should be, yeah.
Okay, Ahmed, I'm so sorry, but because the live streaming stopped, I need to ask you those questions again so we can keep, so we have a recording. So I
Okay.
apologize.
That's okay. It's okay. No
Okay,
problem.
so what?
There is a backup recording, so it is recorded.
Oh, we actually have a backup recording going, so we don't need to ask the questions again. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so we'll just continue. Thank you so much. Did you already say how you met Yara?
I did, yeah, but I can repeat if you want.
If you could repeat that part, and then we'll go into the next question, I would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. My inspiration came from a desire to highlight a story from diverse background and native sovereignty and solidarity. I met Yara through Minna at artistic event in partnership with the Ruwad Society and Culture Salon, where we exchange ideas about art and community, and that's when our creative partnership began.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much for repeating that for me. Our next question is, we wanted you to tell us more about the film crew for this project, whether or not you knew each other before making the film.
Yeah. The team was a mix of familiar faces and new talented. We had some members I had worked with before, but I also brought in fresh creative members, which add a unique flavor to our work.
Wonderful. What was the role of the Cultural Salon when you made the film? They developed shows for Netflix, so we assume they provided you some inspiration and encouragement. And we're curious what suggestions and ideas they shared with you as the director of this awesome first film.
Yeah. The Culture Salon provide a wonderful support environment. We suggest the idea of this collaboration to Ruwad, which very welcome. And as a member of the Ruwad media team, I was thrilled by the idea of making the film. I found this experience very enriching. The Ruwad team and Culture Salon were invaluable and significantly contributed to the film's development.
Wonderful. Has making and releasing this film provided you with the optimism for your own chances as an independent filmmaker? And has it helped you dream for yourself personally?
Yeah, absolutely. This film was an inspiring experience that encouraged me to thinking of new ideas and a future project. I feel this opportunity are available to us as independent filmmakers.
That's so exciting. If you could ask the world for anything, what would you ask for?
Okay. In a light of In a light of the circumstances we are currently living in, first of all, support the Palestinian just cause in all forms, and to support Palestinian artists to stimulate creativity and diversity in the stories that are told and promote their work.
We wonder if you could describe what a free Palestine means to you. Will you still live in Aida camp or back on your family's ancestral lands when Palestine is free?
Yep. A free Palestine for me means dignity and freedom for everyone. Living in Aida camp is a part of my identity. But I believe that returning to our lands is a dream and a right for every Palestinian, and I will continue to work towards that dreams through my art. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We're all dreaming of a free Palestine. So thank you so much, Ahmed. And of course, on the phone with us too is Jad, who is the director of photography for the film.
Thank you all guys. We happy to be with you at this meeting. It's so important, and it's really nice to be here. Yep.
We're so grateful you're with us here too. We know it's late there, and we hope we're gonna open it up to some questions from the audience. And again, take your time with translation, and Dr. Abusror too, if you want to help with that at all, we would appreciate it. And so with that, I'm going to open up to the audience. There were also many other individuals involved in helping them make this movie who couldn't be with us today or tonight in Palestine. But yes, does anybody have any questions for Ahmed or Jad?
I just wanted to start by complimenting the film and the singer. Beautiful. So beautiful. She's I'm very happy to be introduced to her as an artist too, and to get to maybe hear more of her music. Beautiful film.
Thank you.
Oh, we have a question in the chat. Just give us one moment.
ساعدني ان شاء الله كل انجليزيتي.
الدكتور بيساعدنا كمان.
الدكتور خلاص خلي الاجابه عليه.
الاجابه اللي فيها تحكي بالعربي.
احسب بالعربي.
Okay, we had a question from the chat about a comedian named Mo Amer. Are you familiar with his work?
I am. Mo Amer. Ahmed Amer.
Mo Amer, yes. Mo Amer comedy.
You know him, no?
Yeah. I know.
Do you like his comedy and show was the question.
Yeah, we know Mo Amer. He's a Palestinian American. He do a startup comedy. Yes.
أظن يوتيوبر صح؟
So do you like Mo Amer comedy and show?
Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, it's so funny. It's he do important also job as a startup comedy.
For those of you who joined, I was just going to share something with people who came in late. So just give me one moment. But so for those of you who came in a little bit later after my introduction, the music video, the short film, featured original footage from both Gaza and the Aida camp in the West Bank. And one of the ideas in the video was to bring the two places together that are separated by Israeli occupation. And so I just wanted to draw attention to that very important facet of this music video. So the video is a way of uniting these two locations that are one location and are one people, right, divided by occupation. But of course, we have Ahmed and Jad are young and very talented filmmakers, and this is hopefully just the start of a lot more, hopefully, music videos, which are I don't feel right calling it a music video, but we really want them to make more films. And so I think questions today would be really helpful for helping them see your interest and what you might want to see more of. Yeah.
Question? Okay. One of the things I noticed with like the intention of uniting these spaces, a lot of the shots that you had in the film were like fluid. They moved like very gently. And I just thought that was a great way to unite these spaces by having that camera move. And I was wondering if that was like intentional, or, you know, as you're just in the creative process, that's how it just kind of came about.
شو سأل الدكتور؟ ما سمعناش منيح.
يعني بيسأل كان في سلاسة في الانتقال بالتصوير بين غزة وعايدة، فهل هذا كان عن قصد ولا يعني عبر العملية الإبداعية لإنتاج الفيلم يعني مشت معك بهاي الطريقة؟
جزء كان مقصود وجزء كان يعني إشي إبداعي. حاولنا إنه لأنه أغلب العالم بيفكروا إنه الناس في غزة شعب لحاله، في الضفة شعب لحال، فإحنا حاولنا إنه العالم برضو تفهم إن إحنا الناس اللي في غزة والناس اللي في الضفة الغربية شعب واحد وبيشتركوا بنفس المعاناة ونفس الظروف المعيشية.
So some came on purpose and some came as a way also to say that we are one people in Gaza, in the West Bank, in Palestine 48, or in Jerusalem. And that even if the genocide and the catastrophes on big doses in Gaza, there is also small doses genocide that is happening in the West Bank, and extinction and extermination also in Jerusalem, and killing the identity of Palestinians in Palestine 48. So it was a way to unite things as if we are within the same context and not dissociated from each other, as the media try to show, talking about the war in Gaza, and people react when there is a huge catastrophes, but with this genocide that is going on small doses as it is normal. Nothing is normal when occupation is happening. It should stop.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a question?
Yeah, I want to thank you also. It's a very powerful tool of resistance, what you've done. And I'm very curious about how you, just the mechanism of bringing information from Gaza and from the West Bank and bringing it together. Like, do you have video made in Gaza? Or is that something you would consider doing to bring together because it is so divided, there's a lot of land in between, right? You can't really just hop in a car and go to Gaza.
In fact, there is partners who were filming in Gaza. So Ahmad contacted a colleague of him, a friend of him in Gaza, who was doing the film for us in Gaza, and Ahmad was doing Bethlehem and Aida camp. So it was a collaboration, and of course, with the internet, sometimes up, sometimes down, it was challenging to vehicle the images from Gaza. But you know, in Palestine, nothing, as we say, miracles do not happen alone. We need to provoke them to happen. So we continue to do what we have to make things happen despite all the challenges.
Understand how separated they are, and I think this was really important for me to see as somebody who's been following this for the entire time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have more questions from the audience.
I have a question about what they envision, what you envision for your next projects.
So yes, I'm not, because I don't think they can see you, Dave. Wait, can they? Oh, there we go. So
شو مشروعك المستقبلي إذا في مشاريع مستقبلية؟
راح ننتج سلسلة أفلام عن الحياة في مخيم عايدة وفي مخيمات اللاجئين. وراح نشارك كمان قصص من غزة تكون نزوح مش نزوح تكون موجودة في الفيلم.
In fact, they prepare for a series of films about refugees, whether in Aida and other refugee camps, as well as the stories from Gaza. So it would be a series of short films, short films that you will do.
Yep.
Hopefully, in the future. You know, the philosophy of Arwad was with or without money, we do it. So all this production is free of charge, isn't it, Mina? So nobody was paid for this film as well. And so it is the people try to invest their energy and efforts to make things happen and reach you and the world of what is happening in Palestine despite everything.
So my question is, do you think you would work together as a team, all the crew that worked on this film? Do you see yourselves working together in the future?
تسأل إذا أنت إحنا مفكرين نظن يعني إنه نشتغل مع بعض في المستقبل ولا لا؟
كل عادي أكيد يعني أنا بكون مبسوط إنه إذا بنشتغل مع بعض يعني وإحنا أصلاً بنشتغل مع بعض يعني عنا قاعدين عمالنا بنشتغل في سلسلة أفلام للمخيم وعندنا برضو تيم في غزة نشتغل مع بعض يعني
نجمع تيم
وبنجمع عمالنا في تيم يعني بنكون في تيم
الرواد اوكي كمل
وطبعا رواد اتاحت لنا الفرصة ان نبلش في هاي المشاريع وانتاج هذه الافلام يعني.
So yes, we work together and we hope to continue working together and include others to join us. Arwad created the media club, so a lot of people come even in the night, spend their time discussing ideas, and they started making a series of short films about Aida camp and different stories that are happening. So yeah, it's a great opportunity with like-minded people sharing different perspectives and creative processes to make beautiful things come together, inshallah. I mean, this particular film with the beautiful music and singing and all the follow-up with Mina on what was happening with the cultural salon as well, and creating this opportunity to extend it and make this outreach would help, hopefully, for future things to come in.
We have another question over here.
Your contact information, can you put all of your contact information on somewhere where we can reach you and send you money, or?
We have actually a donation link
for individuals and.
So we have a donation link for the Ramadan for Mercy campaign, which is to raise money for meals for families in the Aida camp, and that's kind of the but also if Ahmed and Jad, if you feel comfortable or want to share your Instagram handle in the chat box for people who can follow you, or whatever you're comfortable with. And if you're not comfortable, I totally understand, but I think people would be interested in following your work in the future.
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna share our Instagram.
Okay, wonderful. We have another question. No, it's okay. We're going to turn the camera so they can see you.
أنا ما حضرتش الفيلم جيت مكان سؤالي شو بدكم من الناس يعني شو بدكم تحكوا لنا أو الأشياء اللي نعمل كمان مشان أنتم تقدروا تضلوا مكملين في عمل الأفلام شو الشيء اللي بدكم إياه شو المساعدة اللي بدكم إياها منا مشان نقدر ندعم عملكم نضلوا متواصلين ومكملين في عمل الأفلام. My question was, what do you want from us to support you, to keep your work is continue on a growing path. What exactly is the word from the American people of the council?
Thank you.
سمعتوا أحمد؟
سمعنا. احكي يا دكتور.
حطيتوا اللينك تبعاتكم. Did you put your links? Put them in the chat. I did put the info about الرواد as well for the contacts. فعندكم سؤال، عندكم الجواب، تحكوا الجواب بعدين أنا بتابع.
اوكي. احنا يعني بدنا من الناس انه اللي عنده امكانيه يوفر لنا الدعم المالي او الدعم الكاميرات والاشياء والمعدات اللي لازم نستخدمها في صناعه الافلام، عشان برضو في كثير ناس حابه تشارك في هالمجال، بس عشان يعني الظروف الصعبه ما بيقدر يترك عمله ويجي يشارك في فيديو كليب او في فيلم قصير. وبنتمنى من الناس انه تنشر رسالتنا والفيديوهات اللي احنا بنعملها، وكثير يعني من بنعطي مجهود عالي عليها عشان الناس تعرف احنا شو عايشين في فلسطين، وتكون قضيتنا برضو في المستقبل ملهمة لأجيال قادمة.
So the idea is that on one side we are grateful to all those who support Palestine, whether through demonstrations or political actions or funding and so on. It is a challenge that we face as artists, as Ahmed put it, to find the money to do our work, to buy cameras, and to have possibilities. Those who can help on that part, whether funding or cameras or technical equipment or whatever, so that we can increase the number of participants in this work. And the media club of Arwad, how many people are you, Ahmed, in the media club? كم واحد انتوا في الميديا كلاب؟
We 5.
التيم بس احنا
وقديش بتدربوا؟
احنا بندرب 25 طفل.
So for example, there is 5 in the media club who are trainers, and they train 25 children and young people in filmmaking and video. So that's one side. The second part is also in what concerns Arwad, is that it is very challenging, in fact, for donation to channel for some people. But again, those who can contribute on whatever program, they are most welcome to do that. Those who can come and visit Palestine, they are most welcome to come and visit. It is encouraging to see people coming. It is encouraging to see people who have the technical capacities or expertise to give master classes or create possibilities of exchange among young people, cinema making or photography or whatever other programs that we have, theater, dance, music, and so on, to share, exchange, build the bridges, and so on. It is most welcome. And those who have a political influence, we are not asking people to love us because we have beautiful eyes. We are asking people to stand with what is just and what is right. And that's the essence of it, is that the values mean something and they don't change based on the dictation of this leader or that president. This is not something that we can twist for political agendas of certain political parties. And the other thing is that freedom is a right, and for anybody to be born free, to live free with dignity and respect. So that's why we are defending what is just and what is right. And whoever is oppressed, we stand with the oppressed. And we cannot say that we are the only victims and no other victim count. And that's why we identify with the indigenous Americans, indigenous Australians, Muslims today in Myanmar and in China and in India. And wherever there is oppression and injustice, we cannot dissociate ourselves as human beings from the others who suffer. And we cannot be hypocrite and complicit with an injustice by being silent, facing this oppression. And I guess the testimony of David and what happened all these years about erasing the original land and the culture and identity of these places is a testimony that people reclaim that right to be recognized for who they are and what they are and what they stand for. So that's why we can live together. But the only way people can live together is based on justice and equality, not based on compromises and oppression and so on. And that's why it's a struggle to have that freedom of speech, even in the countries that come to teach us democracy and human rights, and they fail the test when it comes to the Palestinian cause and so on. So that's why we are grateful again for those who stand for justice and equality. That's why we hope that more are engaged and can make a political impact on that field. So the door is open for any kind of partnership and contribution and support and exchange and building bridges. And this is an opportunity. During Ramadan, we do this initiative of cooking meals, packaging them, delivering them to homes of people because of the closure and almost challenging freedom of movement situation because of the fragmentation of the West Bank and blockade and so on. So everybody is living hardships. We have started that in 2020. This is the 6th year. We serve about 500 to 1,000 meals per day and go to the families in need. And this is something because we want to help people keep their dignity and intimacy and not show images of our people in the humanizing way, waiting in line and receiving the support as you see in all these humanitarian actions that dehumanize people by showing them in such horrible situation. So our philosophy was respect and dignity for the people we serve. And that's why you will not see images of people receiving and waiting in line and so on. You see what we do, but not who receive. But we have everybody, we know everybody, and people can come and participate in distributing and so on. But respect, dignity of people is primordial for us. And we cannot dehumanize people by help in showing the help we give them in a dehumanizing way. So thank you.
Yeah, the QR code that's sitting right there. Thank you so much, Dr. Abussor. I do want to remind everyone, our goal today is to raise some money for the Ramadan of Mercy campaign. There is a QR code on a flyer right there, and we're going to pass that around. For those of you familiar with using a QR code, you know the drill. Please use the code that's on there in the notes section of your donation. Any donation, large or small, is appreciated during Ramadan. We are hoping basically this program helps deliver hot meals to families in the Aida camp where food is increasingly more
And
scarce.
beyond.
Yes,
And beyond Aida camp all over Bethlehem.
And I wanted to
even-
just say that, and I wanted to just say, you know, even if you don't have a question for Ahmed or Jad, I really want to encourage you to offer your words of encouragement for their beautiful work. And so if you have anything nice you'd like to say that on top of all the nice things that have been said about their beautiful video, please feel free to share those words. This is like such a unique opportunity for them to hear from you. So I would really encourage you to speak up.
Palestine.
It's important to support young artists to continue. And so your support is most welcome to these people and give them a space where they can show their creativity. And for like-minded people in the United States and elsewhere to join efforts to co-create and co-produce things that mean something and that stands for something and not just a waste of time and brainwashing and stereotyping. So we are grateful for this opportunity.
Thank you. Yeah, if you have any nice words to say.
Is there a clip of just the song that we can have access to?
Just the audio, you mean, or the
Just
video?
Clip of the video, audio video of just the song.
Yes, yeah, I can absolutely share that with you, yeah.
So we can circulate just the song, that's okay
Yeah.
with you?
Actually, what I'm going to do is if you would like to leave your email address or your Instagram handle with me, I'm happy to share that clip with you so that you can watch it again and share it with people. Yes, thank you so much. That's such a good idea. I hadn't thought of that. So I'll just pass this piece of paper around if you want to it's not going to be a mailing list. I'm not going to like abuse you with emails, but if you would like that, I am really happy to share it. Yeah, any more words of encouragement would be appreciated. Yes.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you. And it was really touching and really powerful. And it's also really wonderful to get to meet you and that you're here to watch the film and get to speak with you, to hear from you and see your smiles and such. Yeah, just sharing appreciation.
Thank you. Were you able to hear that? Maybe not. Okay, so someone was very touched by your music video, touched by your film. It was very beautiful. They're so happy to see your faces and to hear from you, to see your smiles, to appreciate your beautiful eyes. And so I just wanted to make sure you heard that.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for letting us witness your heart. It's wonderful to see you and to feel connected to your hearts. The film communicated so much. Just wondering if there's anything else that you want us to know about your experience in the lives that you don't get.
Okay.
Did you hear that? Sorry, do you mind coming a little bit closer? I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
Would you repeat that?
Yeah, I was just saying thank you so much for letting us be with you and witnessing your heart. The film communicated so much, but I'm wondering if there's other things on your heart that you want us to know about your daily experience that you don't get to share. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So just to repeat that, someone was very touched by what you have shared and wants to know if there are other things in your heart that you want to share, perhaps in a future film, or that you want us to know about today, about your daily experience.
سمعتوه أحمد وجاد؟ إذا بدكم تشاركوا أي شيء بخصوص حياتكم اليومية أو كلمات تختموا فيها.
احنا كثير اليوم انبسطنا ان كنا معهم وبنقدر وقتهم اللي اعطونا اياه وبنقدر الدعم اللي راح يقدموه لنا ولمؤسسة الرواد وبس.
We are really happy to see you all also and to share with you this video, and also thankful for your time that you dedicated to be with us on this afternoon, and appreciative of all this support that you are giving us and to us as individuals and to our organization, Ar-Rawad, as well. I guess it is for me also an opportunity. Well, we continue to thank, but it is really important that people can see how important it is to connect and create such events where you can see and share and be united in this beautiful humanity that we share, and that nothing is far away when injustice start sneaking in. It will touch everybody, and so when we are not standing and facing it, it will come to you, and you can see where it is going with the new government as well in the United States. And sometimes we feel that we are the free ones and everybody else is occupied. So it is in such way that we can talk even under occupation, despite the price we can pay. But when your freedom is attacked and incarcerated in such a poisonous narrative, and the media blackmailing and so on, then we pity we pity the people who suffer under such oppression one way or the other. So thank you for standing again for what is just and what is right. And we hope that we can be proud of making something that is meaningful for the young girl that I see with Jennifer Lee and the generations to come, that we can be proud of the heritage we leave for them.
I want to make sure too that Ahmed and Jad, if you have any questions for either Beverly Ketch, the filmmaker of the Fairies video, or Jennifer or David, who produced the Indigenous Voices series. So if you have any questions to them as fellow filmmakers, I want to make sure that we have space for those questions too.
أسئلة للمخرجين الثانيين اللي عملوا الأفلام اللي شفتوها.
هم سكان أصليين ولا سووا الأفلام هم سكان أصليين؟ شو عندك أسئلة؟
كل أسأله إنه أنت بتصنع بالفيلم إنه كيف الإحساس أو المشاعر؟
بس احكي للدكتور احكي.
أنت كله.
طيب الأسئلة بدنا نسأل عن كيف صوروا بالخيمة، السكان الأصليين وشو استخدموا في المشهد. في مشهد خيمة وكان السكان الأصليين قاعدين، احنا ما فهمناش بالضبط شو كان يحكي لأنه ما كان في صوت.
Ahmed is asking about the scene, I think, for Jennifer Lee in the tent that was filmed, how it was filmed, what techniques they used, what was happening in the discussion, because, of course, on our side, we didn't hear the voice, the sound of what is happening. I also just want to share that I love the creative work that has happening, the fairies that were flying around, and all this beauty of narration of real people. So thank you. Now the question that Ahmed asked about the tent and how did that come about?
وكثير الفيلم كان حلو، يعني الطبيعة والألوان اللي فيه بتبين كيف كان جو السكان الأصليين، وإحنا كثير مبسوطين إن شفنا تعرفنا كمان على كيف كانوا يعيشوا السكان الأصليين.
So they love the way that reflected the real life of the indigenous people and the beauty of the view, the scenes, the land, the trees, the colors, amazing beauty.
Jennifer, you're still with us, right? Oh, we need to unmute you. There
Okay,
you go.
now you can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that. So that's in my yard, and I was teaching history to the kids. It's what I do. I go to schools, I bring the wigwam, because when the kids come in the wigwam and they sit in a circle, they're having a total sensory experience. And then I teach them history. And I teach kids about what happened and about prejudice, especially, the Nipmuc folks of this area. They were allies of the colonists. But once the war started, anyone that looked Indian was sent to Deer Island or, just treated really badly. And so what I do is I teach history, and I'm amazed at how kids can really understand things. Like third graders understand what manifest destiny is, the idea that one group of people is superior to another. And that's what I want to discredit and bring out. that and the papal edicts, which really affected what happened here and still affects how people think about Native people. The papal edicts were from the Pope in the 1500s saying that if you weren't Christian, you weren't human. And that's why the Spanish and English could come here and take the land and kill the people. And that's why we have mascots still. It's part of that dehumanizing. And that's what I feel like we need to, all Indigenous people all over the world, we need to bring a voice to that. I put a little section of a Bob Marley song in the chat because it's what I feel is really happening. Like, we have to discredit this idea that one group of people is better than another or more deserving than another. You know, I love your guys' sentiment about we all want peace. We all deserve peace, and you know, war is not the answer. So it's my take on history. And I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you. I would like to share something else because we share, I think, as a Palestinian and Aboriginal people in America, we share same circumstances. If we could work on a project together in the future, that will be great.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Yep.
I would love that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you.
Thank you too, guys.
Well, I think you have a lot of new fans today. And if anybody else has anything they'd like to share with Ahmed or Wajad, otherwise we'll kind of wrap up and let them get on with their very late evening now. And I'm sure you all want to get on with yours as well. But any last words for Ahmed or Wajad? Otherwise, can we get a round of applause?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. We appreciate all of this.
Thank you so much for your time tonight. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
too.
you all.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Good night.
Good night. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
باي. شكرا دكتور.
يعطيكم العافية حبيبي.
حبيبي.
يعطيكم العافية شباب.
يعطيك العافية حبيبنا.
المرة الجاية قاعد جاد على كرسي وساوي للكرسي بتاعه.
زلمة طلع معطيني سكملة.
شكرا كثير. سكملة وقاعد على الكرسي العالي هو.
سلامات.
يلا سلام.
باي باي منا. Thank you.
فرصة سعيدة. Nice to meet.
Nice to meet you too.
See you soon.
So-
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. See
Thank
you
you.
soon.
Oh, sorry.
I think we're good. Yeah, and I think again we're going to pass the QR code around. Please give anything you can to the Ramadan for Mercy campaign, and also if you left your email address with me, I'll be happy to share you a link to the music video, and I'll share you the link for the campaign. But you also have it on your phone now, so if you feel comfortable sharing it with other people you know, that would be really wonderful. Thank you all for coming tonight. Tonight now. Thank you.